and a little bit more organic and also improvisational in some cases, and just foresty and darker psytrance. It's still psytrance though. So today I have to finish a couple of things regarding this project, go over some tracks, do some work there so that I can work on the other stuff that is more important. Or not more important, that's not the right thing to say, but that is also important to get done. Let's say like that. Yeah. My sleeping pattern, after some time where it was absolutely horrid, now is like almost perfect. I mean, we have 6 o'clock and I'm already awake and I'm quite fit. And in the morning time, I mean, you know, now it's like literally 6 o'clock, 6:15. In the morning time, I'm usually very good in working. Like, I don't know, I feel like that I benefit from the first hours of the day. It's incredible what you can achieve in the first 3 hours of the day if you get up early. Like, from now until 9-10 o'clock, so much stuff could happen, or will probably happen. Then like after that I'm going straight up to my day plan. It's another thing that I recently started, is like writing day plans. Like, do I follow them to the T? No, not necessarily, but I am following it eventually, you know? Like, I write down what I have to do, and I that's not a new thing, but like I'm doing it like for the day, as well as like I have separate lists. The amount of notes that I'm having is getting insane. It's very typical, you can say, because I always have a lot of output, but then I have a hard time channeling also this output in the right ways. So it's even like this with notes. I have my board over there where I take notes. Then I have 3 different accounts of Google Keep, which is just a note service, kind of, that is linked up to the rest of Google. And in there I have a tremendous amount of lists, notes, directions, you know, artistic directions, etc. Just lists and notes. A lot. And I think if you want to get somewhere in the world, it's a good thing. Lists will bring you somewhere, or notebooks will bring you somewhere. It's a thing that I learned very early in my life, actually, to keep a notebook. Now I'm doing it digitally. Back in the day I was doing it actually, you know, handwritten. But that keeps you on the track. Same thing as with exercise. Exercise is better done if you note down how much of, you know, how much repetition of, which sets did you do, how many sets did you do. It's just so motivating to see that number grow. So I can recommend that as well for people that want to exercise. Let's get a little bit to health. I want to talk a little bit about health because it's so important. It's the fundament of everything that we do. If we are not healthy, you know, everything suffers, obviously. So how to stay healthy? Also in the case like me, where I'm like, you know, basically in the studio now in the winter time. I mean, the first past half of the year was really exciting, and then I realized that I really have to go in the studio and reevaluate what I want to do as an artist, and do it also, write substantial work, do substantial work. And then the second half was a lot of staying in the studio alone, so to say. Yeah, of course, I mean, I'm working alone. I have friends here in the city, fortunately, because I'm not kidding you, my friends are keeping me sane. And friendship is just such a great thing, really, and I really appreciate it, you know, like is another thing that is proven to be beneficial for your health is actually a friendship. Friendships are having positive effects on your health. Yeah, so how to keep healthy when you are, due to your job, not moving a lot or sitting a lot, like I am. But then I have the freedom, you know, I'm not in a cubicle or something like that. I totally have the freedom to exercise here, and I do. Fortunately, I started that. It took me also way too long, I guess, but now I have my weights, I have my pull-up bar, and I do my push-ups, my sit-ups, my yeah, I said that already. You know, I do my couple of exercises all around the body, basically, you know, from belly to chest to arms to back, a little bit of everything. And that's really important, of course, for everybody. I mean, we need to move in some way or the other. So if you're not like living with a tribe in the jungle of the Amazonas and jumping through the trees, which would provide you with natural exercise, then you need to do exercise. You need to exercise. There's no circumventing that, I guess. There's not, actually, because it's an incremental piece of being healthy. What is another thing? Breathing. Breathing is so important, right? And that leads me to what I really want to talk about, and this is cold exposure. And I will also give you an anecdote, because you will think, cold exposure, cold water immersion, Wim Hof, right? Wim Hof. And of course, Wim Hof is somebody who delved really deep into the matter, and really studied himself and the human body, what happens, and, you know, like what happens on a cellular level with cold exposure, because it's also very interesting. We have different kind of fats in our body, and there's brown fat, and this is a good fat. This is something that we should have, and this cold exposure creates that brown fat. I know brown fat doesn't sound delicious, I know, but it's good, it's beneficial. And so, back to the point. How did I discover cold exposure? In the year 2009 or 10 maybe, I was just beginning to play. And I was with a crew going from festival to festival. And we have been on Osora, and I played actually on the biomechanical stage there on Osora. So what is the biomechanical stage? The biomechanical stage was from Chris CTC and his friends, Droid, and a few other people, and a lot of big artists played there, like Iguana and also Cosmo. And I was a very young boy, very young, you know, like literally just over 20, super green, and my music, you know, was just developing, obviously. Like, I literally started at 0 2 years before that, so I was really at the beginning, and I was on stage there with all those masters. And I think Cosmo might even not remember that, for example, but he was there, and he was really there because he came to me and he helped me to set the equalizers on the mixer, and it was a good lesson to play there. I really realized where I was. And after that, we were in a crew. So let me explain also about the crew. There was one girl, Coco, and 2 guys that were really cool, like old truck drivers, actually. And but Psy-Head truck drivers, not rando truck drivers. No, people that listen to psychedelic, seriously listen to psychedelic. And Jimmy. Oh man, was that the same Osora? Am I confusing and mixing up 2 Osoras? Okay, the important person that was with me during that specific time, man, I would really have to go back and see where have I been with which person. It's kind of important to me. Anyway, this is about Jimmy. Jimmy is a Native American that lives in Germany, and he's one of the wildest people that you have ever seen in your life, or that I have ever seen in my life. And in the time when I was with him, he claimed to be 72 or 62, I think. But he definitely looked like a 40-year-old man. He never drank or smoked, never took any, like, you know, anything, but was super high and super tripping all the time, in a way. And I was going with him from Osora to Transylvania Calling. And Transylvania Calling you have to, it was in different places. During that year, it was like in the mountainous region of Romania. So you had to go up a mountain, and there were a lot of rivers on the way in general. And whenever Jimmy saw a river, he jumped inside of it. That was just like his thing. For him, it was like the most normal thing in the world. There's a river, you jump inside of it, for sure. Doesn't matter also if it's like 1 degree cold because you're in some mountain region of Romania. And I was going with him. And this was my first experience with continuous, jumping into cold waters. Nobody else would do that. It's like, yeah, no way, that's so cold, right? Also, before Wim Hof was popularized, after all. This is how I know it. I know that story was presented slightly convoluted, sorry for that, but that is my first experience with cold exposure, I'd say. I didn't come back then and immediately started to take cold showers, but from time to time I did it. Now though, it's a different story. Every time when I'm taking a bath or shower, I'm taking a cold shower, and I mean ice cold after that. And I will try full body immersion upcoming now, but I was just like yesterday listening to Wim Hof again, and he starts his day with what? With a cold shower. Shower, it's like there is no problem with, exposing the different parts separately to cold. It still has the same effect on the body, and on a cellular level the same stuff happens. So if you are not having a bathtub, then don't worry about it. But my trick is really that I'm heating myself up before that. Like, I'm heating myself up so much that I really would want to have the cold water. My brain is now completely differently wired to cold water. Like, I'm not having this aversion of, oh my god, that's so terrible. It's actually super brilliant. Cold water is very pleasurable, but you need to be tremendously hot. At least in my case, that's the case. Where did I start that now recently, actually? In the Himalayas. I started that in 2021, end of the year, when I was booked in the Himalayas as a musician, and I had to perform thrice. And it was in December. It was very cold. Very, very cold. And literally everybody was sick, or lots of people were sick, and lots of people, were coughing, etc. And I always went almost daily, actually, to the hot springs in Manikaran. And there what I did was exactly the same. I was jumping into the hot pools. You rent a pool there for like, I don't know, €0.50 or something like that, a private pool. With like, hot water from the mountain. And next to that there's buckets with ice cold water from the mountain. And really, I mean like ice cold. And what I would do is jump into the hot spring and heat myself up, do the whole process of hot springs there, which is also, you're washing yourself actually outside of the pool, obviously. And then you go inside the pool, then you heat yourself up. Nobody did it though. I was always the only guy who did it. And basically I would heat myself up, go out, fill up buckets of cold ice water and completely drop those buckets all over my body. Yeah, that's awesome feeling actually. Sorry, that's awesome feeling actually. In my opinion, you just need to get sufficiently hot before that. So, is it a problem to be hot before doing cold immersion or cold showers? No, not at all. It is additionally beneficial. It's a classic technique, going into hot bath, then cold immersion, or going to sauna and then afterward taking a cold shower. All those things, they are, well studied and proven to be beneficial for our health. So I'm doing that all the time, and it becomes a habit. And I didn't need nobody, you know, to accompany me with, because I saw one video yesterday where one guy was saying that for him it was easier, which is fair enough, of course, that there were other people doing it with him, not like physically, but like, you know, they were also doing it. I don't need that. It's like, if I know that something is good for me, then I can do it also on my own. I'm telling it to everybody. I'm telling everybody, guys, I haven't been sick once this winter. Not even once. And this comes down, in my opinion, to two major contributors. And those two major contributors are power smoothies every morning that contain all minerals, proteins, you know, so many minerals and stuff, vitamins, etc. All in one natural package, 100% derived from natural sources. That's my power smoothie every day without fail. I'm having that, okay? I just had that today. I'm not skipping on that even once, because I know my body appreciates it so much to get this load of good stuff. Proteins, all what you need. You need what in the morning when you wake up? You need liquid, you need carbohydrates, you need protein, and you need a package of vitamins to, you know, basically be constantly filled up with the stuff that you need. And cold showers after hot bath. Those are my two secrets, guys. It's like, it's pretty much that. There's not much more to it. Of course, my diet, I'm cooking myself, but I'm eating a lot of stuff like burgers, pizza, but I'm doing that myself. I'm making it fresh from fresh ingredients with the minimal of processed shit in it. Like, for example, my pizza is 0% processed food. It's fully fresh and healthy food, the pizza that I'm doing. Like, I'm making the dough myself. In the dough, there are only pure things. There's only olive oil, water, salt, flour, and yeast inside of active yeast. And yeah, you can eat delicious things. You just have to do them yourself, in my opinion. And then obviously metabolisms work differently. My metabolism is rather fast, I feel. I know, actually. And yeah, that's that. I wanted to talk about it for a while. Let me know what you do to stay healthy, actually. And maybe you are also doing this cold immersion stuff, or, you know, cold baths, or cold showers, or whatever. What is your trick to stay healthy in the studio, or also wherever you are? Okay, guys, that's it. The second Rebirth vlog is done. I hope that you enjoyed it a bit. And yeah, I'm going to get on with the day and start to be creative now. Thank you so much for your support, and I see you guys soon. Bye.